Good morning. Today is the 28th of May and we're here at the Clearway, which is a cafe on the A30 near Salisbury for the Driven 24/7 social event. I do apologise if this road is very noisy. It's not the best location for video because of all the traffic going past. We've got quite a variety of stuff here. Now some of the cars here I don't think actually are here for the event. For example, the Morris Minor at the back of there isn't, but because I'm Driven 24/7 very keen on things like this Abarth. There's quite a few Abarths here and other things, and lots of Japanese domestic market type stuff as well. So it was 2019 Abarth. I think this is a 595. Got some alligators on it, like I used to have on the MG3 I used to have back in the day. This one has had some little tweaks to it. It might be putting out a bit more of the standard horsepower as well, but it's not the most powerful Abarth we'll see here today at all. Very late Morris Minor here, 68-69 registration. Forget the name of this colour. It's obviously faded at some point as well, but that's going to need a little bit of work, isn't it? Even better for someone like me though is this Bentley Turbo. Quite an early one actually. It's an 85-86 registration. But of course, yes viewers, it has a beige leather interior with piping and wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior. That is rather tasty. I think the grille is off a later model if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, it's Shambolic Shuffle as well, viewers, and there are likely to be mistakes. Pretty sure this Mercedes ML is actually a petrol one, which is rare. Yes, the rev counter says it is. I'm sort of fascinated by these because if you look at the second Jurassic Park film, The Lost World, they actually have some early pre-production ones of these in this. This is a later car to facelift. I can't remember exactly what year this is. This is a personal plate, so I don't know, but I find these quite interesting at the moment, and obviously I know from High Peak Autos that there are certain people who are obsessed by them. Also got this early 2000s Civic here. Now it's not probably an EP3. I think the EP3s were only the 3-door Type Rs from memory. I could be wrong about that. I forget the sort of model codes that actually these were made under. I own Swindon for our market, but this one has been extensively modified, really modified. And we've got I think this is the K20 engine in this one, it looks like, from the EP3. And of course, hello to JDM_Jonesy on Instagram, bringing the car along. It's quite a look, isn't it, that, with all this sort of different colours. Also got this bay window Volkswagen camper here. Quite a late one for German production, which finished around, I think, about 1980 for these. Obviously they were made until much later in other parts of the world, but 7980 plates, classic colour for these, with the Fat Woolly Surfshack sticker, which is so sort of 1990s to have one of those on camper like this, isn't it? I mean, these days these are not cheap cars anymore at all, not even with this one that's showing a bit of sort of patina and rust. I have a bit of fascination for driving cars like this. This is a 2009 Audi TT. This is the S line. This might just be actually the 2 litre, to be honest, rather than anything else, just the standard one. But even so, I'd quite have a go in one of these. I've never driven a TT actually. I think that would be interesting. Also, we've got some Porsche action here, which I wasn't really expecting Porsche here today, so that's a nice surprise. Boxster S. I think this is a late first generation model, but I'm not massively hot with my Porsche, so I could be totally wrong about that. 2002 to 3 registration. And something very tasty has just turned up. Ooh. Yes, please. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Couple of STs here, both on personal plates, so I couldn't tell you exactly where they are. They're both a facelift. This would be after about 13, I think. The facelift for 13 model year came in for the Mark 7s, and then for these, facelift occurred in about 2005. But most of the STs you see, actually, for the Mark 6 Fiestas are the facelift ones. Look at this. Very nice, viewers. And of course we have a beige leather interior and wood, so I'm a happy person. Can't remember the TVR model, so it's a Griffin 500. Very nice. I think those are Mark IV Ford Escort estate rear lights. Something else that's lovely and rare, this is an Opel GT. This dates from the late 2000s. It was also sold as a Saturn and a Pontiac and a Daewoo. These were not sold over here at all. So they were none in right-hand drive. They were only sold in continental Europe. The closest place, obviously you could buy them in America and South Korea and some other markets as well. You can see someone's got some beam converters on the headlamps. But that is ultra rare. Obviously with reorganisation and Chapter 11 bankruptcy and things like that, it sort of killed off any hope that this would have to continue. More Fiesta action here. This is a Mark IV. Ports of registration on this one, about 99 to 2000. It's quite a basic one actually. This hasn't even got a rev counter, so I imagine this would have started off as, I don't know, like an Encore or something. What it is now is not probably with standard little 1.3 or 1.25. This has probably got something rather powerful under the bonnet. And of course we've got more Abarth action going on here, 17 registration one. Forgot to say hello to Anthony _tag and Fiesta _FBP on Instagram. And hello of course to 500 _KCE. This looks to me like a 595, but it might be something else. Obviously under the bonnet we've got something else rather interesting that's standard in there as well. So we can drop it down like that. It's on the hydraulics or air ride or something like that. And then a Toyota Corolla T-Sport. I forget the model designation for these. I'm not really particularly au fait with that sort of stuff. But Macaulay _Southern 97. That's very nice actually. Lightly modified, but I think actually looks quite nice. They did do some TRD wheels to these, I think. Those aren't there, but they're similar. We've got drill radius in this as well. I think we've seen this Puma before, this green Puma. Puma ST. When the Fiesta is taken out of production next month, this will be the sort of small sporty Ford that you can buy. And actually I think not maybe so keen on this colour, but because it's so similar to the Mark to Focus sort of RS that came in this colour, I think it's perfectly fine to have one like this if it stands out a bit. Hello to SRL Photography 94 on Instagram. And a Porsche Cayenne. I really hope, viewers, this is a petrol one, because, we don't talk about diesels on this channel, viewers, and the Mayor of London recently sent me a letter because I'd driven my Volvo 460 in the upcoming ultra-limited expansion area. He really doesn't want me to drive my cars around, does he? So yes, 2010 to 2011 Porsche Cayenne. I don't think it's an S, I think it's a normal one. Not really the sort of person who would know about these things, viewers. It's got a Mark IV Fiesta. We've got a Mark V one here. It belongs to Martin, who is Amber's fiance. And I quite like this. I like the sort of blue wrap bits on the wheel which match the seats and things like that. It's not a perfect example by any means, but I really like this. I think that's really nice. Yes, it's a 2000 W. And then two other cars from the year 2000. We have two Honda logos. This one has a Civic VTI engine in it. It's had a swap. This is not a D series engine, it's a B series engine. So it would have come out of, I don't know, something like an EK Civic hatch, something like that. Those of you familiar with Honda Civics can tell me. But this one had a 1.3 D series in it originally. Also got some other modifications like the little things down there where fog lights would have been. The wheels, I imagine, are kind of the ones you'd fit something like the Civic 3-door. And there's some interesting seats in there with little blue inserts on them. And a Pikachu head. And a rear spoiler. So that would be pretty fast, actually. The logos were only sold in this country from about April 2000 to July 2001. They were very much a stopgap model for us. They'd obviously been in odd sale in Japan for some time, and this generation that we got, this was the final face of one of them. If you wanted more information, of course, about Amber's logo particularly, you can just go on her channel. There you go, there's the Dreampod 24/7 Instagram tag there. I think Amber's one is a slightly later one. There were two types sold over here, the standard 1.3 and the SE. The SE came a little bit later, but summer of 2000, I think, and those were sold until the end. You get a manual or an auto. These are both manuals. Amber's one of the standard 1.3 D series in it, although it's been tuned a bit and she's got a different exhaust on it. We'll go over here and take a look at some more Abarth action. Now this one belongs to Amber's mother. I think it's something like a 2018 or something around that. It's a 595C Competizione. You can see on a day like today, with weather's it's uncharacteristic of the bank holidays, that you can put the roof down if you want. Amber's files opened up so we can see some modifications to this. And look at this huge kind of pipe we've got in here. But the engine bays on these are a little bit cramped. They are sort of cramped when you've got the turbo version of this fire engine. It takes back to the mid-80s actually, but I think they call them the T-Jet in these actually, but it is basically a modified fire engine, like the one in this. Mr. Bill has brought his 2008 Fiat Panda 100 horsepower, just come down the road from here because he lives very close to where we are. And if this is a car you would have seen on my channel before, they are nice to drive. The only thing is the suspension is incredibly firm in these. His is reasonably standard actually. There's not too many modifications to this one, and it is really nice. These are actually an appreciating classic now, which is good. They are a lot of fun. And then we've got the Volvo, which is here. I should have really cleaned this before I came. I just didn't get round to it because I've been doing other things this week. But here it is, and it's fitting in quite nicely because it's brought a friend along. We've got this Honda Beat here, which also is a 91. I forget now whether actually you can even buy a Honda Beat officially in this country. Obviously, people imported them. So this is also a 1991. It's probably a 91, I imagine. I think that gear lever is a little bit different from standard. Little 660cc engine, I think, is in this one, in the back. Just absolutely and utterly crazy. It's not really the sort of thing I normally ever go on my channel, but I have a sort of fascination to drive something like this. And then we've got a Paseo SI. You would have seen, some of you viewers, I drove a Paseo ST on the channel last year. Now this is a 97. It's sort of in the middle of the time when they sold these Paseos over here. They weren't very successful in this country at all, unfortunately. Never really caught on. The Civic Coupe and the Puma and the Tigra outsold these massively. They were only imported with a 1.5 normally aspirated engine, which didn't produce a lot of power. The SI doesn't have air conditioning, but it does have these nice alloy wheels on it. It belongs to a chap called James from JDM Snow Monkey channel, whose Lexus GS300 you might have seen on No Budget Reviews in April. So another Abarth here with some gold wheels. I think that actually looks quite nice in this sort of livery like this. And somebody has also got a very appropriate Instagram username. Hello to black_gold_Abarth on Instagram. So 21, so pretty it's pretty new then. Scorpionerolo, gold Scorpion. There we go. I know a very small bit of Italian, viewers. If you've been to any of the events during 24/7 before, then you would have seen this car in a lot of the video footage. It belongs to a gentleman by the name of Tom. It's very heavily modified, this. I think it's producing in excess of 200 horsepower now, which I didn't realise, but actually you could get out of these, but apparently you can. So hello to golf_Abarth98 on Instagram. This one I think is before 2015, for the simple reason that the rear lights are not the facelifted ones. So it's somewhere between 2010 and 2015, I think, this one. Obviously a fan of certain other channels as well, Fuel Power and 24/7. Mr. Bill is around filming as well as a few other people are. I quite like these colours actually. I do think they're quite nice. But I think possibly for me, I like this even more. It's a Lancia Delta HF Integrale. This is an Evolution 2, I think. It's a really late one. It's a 1995. I think that's the very last year they actually made the shape of Delta. And that is, well, it's most agreeable, viewers. Prices of these are just going up by the second. You know, it's one of these sort of cars. So that's pretty good. Left-hand drive only for the Integrales. For the earlier HF turbos, you could get in right-hand drive, and I saw a few of those actually at Veterans Weekender. Suzuki Swift, previous generation. I think probably a Sport. You could get Sport in 3 or 5 door. Hello to BXCKS_Z C31S on Instagram. That's an interesting username, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's a Sport. Could be wrong though. This generation and the next one look really similar, so I could get confused about them. So I think this is an EK Civic hatch. Also, it could be an EJ. Hello to JXLES_JDM and JDM_Civic_ on Instagram as well. Do we have a B16 engine in here? I think we probably do. The cam cover looks very much like a D series, so I don't know enough about them to be able to say, but I imagine that's got quite a lot of power, which is good. These are just rocketing in price this generation of 3-door Civic now. Right, anyway, thank you so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more incorrect information.